All right. I had a feeling that probably not too many people would be showing up if they're at home and they're not used to like having kids at home. It's just a whole different dynamic right now. It's been a crazy week, but more so personally for me, like the last 24 hours were crazy. We got 5 feet of snow in Tahoe, like in 24 hours. Like no food trucks could get delivered to Tahoe. And then my husband decided to go hike up a mountain until 9 o'clock at night, and I couldn't get a hold of him. Like we thought he was out there in the blizzard. Like it was just crazy. And then we found out this morning that my husband doesn't really have a job. So it's been kind of crazy. And so I kind of took the last 24 hours just to process, like, okay, I have a job here for myself, my family, my team, the world. And, I had a moment. I like ugly cried on voice message to Jamie today. So bless her heart for having to listen to that heart-wrenching message. But I just kind of like gave myself some time and I was like, all right, I really want to share with my team how I see the situation. And I didn't know if I was going to be able to do it, to be honest, because it's just been a little crazy. But I hope that I can. Actually, let me shut my door. So, I think like a week ago, we were all like, whoa, like this is crazy. And immediately some of us started to feel like, how do I go about my business and sharing? We have 10 rounds coming out. And at first I was really excited that we had this to offer. I'm still excited that we have Beachbody to offer. But with just how like the last couple of days have gone, my heart and my compassion and the way that I want to wear my leader hat has shifted slightly. So if I can help anyone navigate how I think we should go about this, and I know Jamie's going to share her thoughts too, but I literally just came up with this like in the last 15 minutes because I was really sad an hour ago. And then I was like, I don't know. I don't actually know what clicked other than thinking about this team call. This morning I was like, do I message Jamie? Like, do we have the call? This is before we found out about like my husband's job and stuff. I wasn't really sure. It was like this weird limbo phase. And then as soon as I realized like, okay, you have a team call in 35 minutes, you have to get out there and you have to lead, right? You have to show people like what they should be doing, lead by example. And I think the best thing that we can do as coaches is to so Jamie, last week we talked about lenses, like what perspective we have, what we're viewing the world through, which is ironic. We talked about fear versus faith last week. So I was like, all right, Colleen, take a spoonful of your own medicine and you have to view through that faith lens that we can do hard things, that, we have a beautiful mission that we're a part of here, and just really leaning into that. And so what I had to do for like the last half hour figuring out what I wanted to say was, I'm really thinking honestly about how I can, if I was to pull myself up outside of earth and look down right now, it would be like painful, right? It would be sad. There's just like a lot of chaos going on. And I think that there's two kinds of people in this world. There's the type of person that builds up the walls and they're like, I have to protect myself and my family, which yes, we do. But then there's the other person that says, okay, I'm going to protect myself and my family and do what I have to, but I also want to help other people navigate this because this isn't easy. And so in a time like this, like I'm never going to stop talking about my workouts or what I'm doing, but we're going to do it why can I say that word? Tactfully. We're going to do it with integrity, right? I hope. I don't think it's a time to capitalize on at-home workouts. I think it's a time to capitalize that we want to help people get through this difficult time. And so just kind of think about how you go about that, right? I don't think much changes for us. The way that we talk about 10 rounds might sound a little bit different. Like you're trying a new workout that just came out, and it came out at the perfect time because we're all kind of stressed right now. So for this next 30 minutes, this is something I'm going to focus on. So let's say, if we were to rewind time before the craziness and 10 rounds launched, it would just sound a little bit different how we're promoting 10 rounds 3 weeks ago. But today, I just feel like there's a different way to go about it. So I want you guys to think about what lens you're viewing it through. Are you viewing it through just the lens that you're a Beachbody coach who 10 rounds just launched and you want to hit Success Club this month? Or back it up even further, really wide sorry, let me just mute. This really wide lens, like when I go out and I see people in a panic or they're kind of hurt and they're just unsure, this weird transition, I just think like, just give them a smile, right? So what can you be for people online? my coach Liz just did a little leadership call, and she said, she's sharing with people the things that she did before the virus. She's sharing with people the things that she has practiced for the last X amount of years of what she's done to get through times in her life. And so if I can be a light for you guys to just broaden your lens and like, don't just think Beachbody Coach Success Club 10 rounds, think, how can I help other people get through a chaotic time? Because right now, for a lot of us, if we're stay-at-home moms, not much is really changing for us right now, right? Like we're home with the kids, and like 3 days ago, until I figured out, we found out all the stuff with the snow coming and my husband's job, I was like, I feel weird because not much is changing for me. And so I had to be just very mindful, and that's where that servant heart and that leadership hat and that big heart comes from is, okay, what can I be for other people? If you're on the other side of things where things have been totally flipped upside down, you've never been home with the kids, or like people are losing their job, you're going to have to definitely focus on yourself first, because that's going to be a new thing that you have to navigate over the next X amount of time. But when it comes to your Beachbody business, just remember, just like you're helping yourself through a chaotic time, we signed up to be coaches to help people through their chaotic lives, virus or not. So just lead with that sense of, what kind of things are you doing? Like, again, let's say the virus didn't happen. What things would you be doing in a stressful time? You'd be reading a book, you'd be maybe meditating, essential oils, whatever your thing is, that's what we're asking you to go teach, right? And so workouts are a part of our lifestyle, but that's not our only lifestyle. A workout is 30 minutes of our day. So what the heck are we doing with the rest of our day, right? So if you can broaden that lens and that perspective of, how can I be a good human to help humanity right now? And after my little meltdown this morning, it just, all of a sudden this fire in my belly reignited. And I was just like, I have really big shoes to fill right now. Not for myself, but just for mankind. I have local businesses messaging me right now because I've been sharing on social media for 7 years, and they're like, hey, my Jazzercise is closed. Literally a message I got this morning. People still go to Jazzercise. Hey, can I do a workout thing with you online? And it just feels good to know that not because of the virus, I've been showing up consistently, sharing my journey, that people are going to see us as a connection to a more positive day. So just get out there and just, if I can ask you to broaden your scope of from Beachbody Coach to how can I be a good human today, I think it's going to help a lot of us navigate the weird time. So I just want to, and also, I've gone through a lot in my life in a short period of time. And when we have these really crazy things happen in our life, you realize you feel alone sometimes, right? You're just well, no one would understand how I'm feeling right now. Right now, everyone's on the same page in some way, shape, or form, right? We're all feeling it in some way. And so if you can think of how you could help someone else when you typically wouldn't, it's going to ask you to expand your heart a little bit more. And I think for the majority of the people on our team, we don't build up the walls and say, I have to protect my family and stay focused on this. I know that you guys lift your chin up, open up your heart and your mind, and we're here to help other people. But you might have to be a little bit more conscious of how you do that in these next 2 weeks. I think the next 2 weeks will be the weirdest part to navigate, because it escalated quickly and things are changing quickly and it's unknown, it's uncertain. And so just think about these next 2 weeks. My challenge for you, and then I'll stop babbling, is to think of 3 words of how you want to show up in this world. My words were compassionate, magnetic, and caring. I know compassionate and caring are kind of the same, but to me, they're not in some way, shape, or form. So think of 3 words of how you want to go to bed tonight, what kind of person you want to feel, how you want to help other people feel. That will go light years in situations like this. We have free workouts to give out, but I feel like if we're just capitalizing on the free workouts, we're only thinking about being a Beachbody coach. We can help people in a way bigger way than just nutrition, than just supplements, than just Success Club. It's a huge part of what we do, but this is a huge chance for us to stand out and to really, anytime that, people share things, anytime I see a coach out there that I don't know, share something that's just a little bit different than team culture, that's kind of I don't really know if that person, not being judgy, but sometimes it just doesn't flow with the values that I have as a Beachbody coach. Every time we share something, we are plastering the Beachbody name on it. So I just think make sure that what we share aligns with what we're here to truly do, which is help people live happy, healthy, and fulfilling lives. If there's anything I've learned from Carl Deichler, every single time he's in a meeting, whenever he makes a decision, it has to correlate with our mission. If it doesn't, he's like, no, I'm not about it. I won't do it. And so that's kind of how I've been trying to think about how I can move forward. How can I help people live a happy, healthy, fulfilling life? Can't just think about Success Club points. We can't just think about, the 10 rounds or whatever it is we're focusing on. We can't just think about the free workouts. There's so much more that we can do. So this is going to ask a lot of yourself to kind of dig in and ask, like, who am I? And this is kind of the question, what's my brand, right? Like, I'm not going to talk marketing to you guys today, but like, who are you on the inside that you can help people on the outside? All right, I love that you guys are coming out with your 3 words. That's actually, if you're in the book club with us, we're reading The Charge right now with Brendan Burchard. And so he said to come up with 3 words for yourself of who you want to be, and then come up with 3 words for like how you want to treat others. We'll keep it simple. Think of 3 words and how you want to act and be, and I really feel like that can guide us in the chaos. So, Jamie. Sorry, I had to get that off my chest and my heart.
That was so good. I feel like I'm like taking in the team call. I'm like, okay, yep, yep, student over here.
Oh man, just delete that voice message, okay?
No. No. So guys, just like Colleen said, I mean, this time is weird. This time is scary. I don't typically have anxiety. That's more my sister. And I have felt anxiety on top of my chest. Like I can't get the weight off. Yesterday was the first day that I kind of like came out of it because Steve and I just talked over everything and like everything we're grateful for. And the fact that we do love being home. Like, I don't know if you guys are introverts or extroverts, but I'm an introvert. So it's like all those memes kind of like we've been preparing for this moment our whole lives. Like we're totally fine. The part that attacks my bubble, I'm a 9 on the Enneagram. So for me, I'm very calm, collected, cool, because I have my routine, because I have my day-to-day, because I know what's going on. And with this, nobody knows, right? You read articles, people are dumb on Facebook, like you just have to like throw your phone out the window, all these things that are just like negative. And like, I'm sure like many of you guys, like negativity is just nails on chalkboard for me. And I'm so good about keeping my blinders on. But then this pandemic happened. And of course that is a whole different story. So I think with this, if any of you guys are in the round table, there's people in there complaining, there's people in there giving all these things. And it's like, guys, let's break away all of the hard things. Okay. What are you doing today to show up for you? Because you have to take care of you ultimately before you can take care of anybody. I have 2 kids. Wiley is 1, Maverick is 3. So I've got 2 little ones to worry about that are busy. Maverick's home from preschool, so he was gone 3 days a week all day long. And so then it's like, oh my gosh, he'd be following his schedule. He's used to being outside twice a day and then working on math and working outside and all these things. And it's like all this stuff is just like boom, boom, boom. And it's like, oh my gosh, back up. What am I doing? Okay, where is my stress reliever? For me, I wake up super early. I am a grandma. I go to bed early. I wake up early. I'm out of bed by 5:15 at the very latest. Pour my pre, let my dog out, change into my clothes, go pee, and then I'm downstairs in our gym by 5:30, 5:35. Get on a Zoom like this with my team. We've got a bunch of early risers, and that is like my me time. Like my boys usually wake up around 6:37, and so it's like at least an hour to an hour and a half of just me time. Okay, so yeah, some of that is my really good work time because I just love like grinding early in the morning. Like I said, my go time is morning. Who doesn't love to drink their pre in peace? And then also it's like time for me to do my workout, where some of my coaches love doing their PD then. But for me, it's like during all this chaos and unknown, I need to keep my routine as best I can. And I know not a lot of people have that luxury of being able to do that, especially if you're not a full-time coach. Like I have so many friends right now that are stressed out about finances and jobs and who's watching their kids and their daycare, all these like unknowns, and different states have different mandates. And it's just like, oh my word. So I'm like, okay, I have to focus on me, because if I don't put myself first, I'm going to lose my shit. And I don't know about you guys, but if you don't, like, my workouts, my whole life have just been my stress reliever. Okay. So some people can go shopping and do that. Some people can do yoga and de-stress. Like, I have to sweat. Like, I did bar hung in there for 5.5 weeks, and I had to say goodbye to bar because I just, like, literally, I would drink all my like 2.5 scoops. I'm just like dinking around, like, all right. I'm like, oh, Wiley woke up. Okay, this will happen later. And it's like, no, this isn't good. And so I jumped on to 10 rounds. 10 rounds is like my jam, like weights and cardio, HIIT training. So for me, what I have done, I have, obviously, like, it's just available to coaches. So I'm not out there necessarily being like, come and join me, come sign up during this crisis. I'm just working with the people that I have right now. I'm working with my team. I'm working with my coaches who are, in between. I'm working with my clients who've spent way too much money paying full price on Shakeology that are needing like a kickstart into a group. And I'm just straight up like, come join me. Let's come do this. So I created a little 6-week prep week. So basically I did, if you guys have 10 rounds right now, you know that there's one sample workout and then 2 prep workouts. So essentially day 1 is the prep workout boxing. Day 2 is the prep workout lifting. Day 3 is a sample workout, then repeat. And then in the free workouts in Cleanwick, there's one called Active Flex. So essentially like active recovery. So essentially I put together a week-long calendar of what we can do in the meantime. So for any of my girls that purchase right away on Monday, they're in this group. And then every sweaty selfie they put by following that calendar gets entered to win a tub of Energize. Okay. Just to like kind of get them pumped up. So then this is something to share every single day. The workouts are like legit my stress reliever during this. And instead of me being like, okay, now that you guys are at home, come work out. Like, I'm not going to take the people that are struggling right now. I'm just saying that this is what is lifting me up and this is what is bringing me happiness right now. So we start together on Monday. Well, then obviously the customer launch comes out first week of April. So then the second week of April is when my actual second round of my group will go, where I'll probably invite people that have been interested. Okay. The people that have been on the fence watching, because we all know that the programs that we start with our people, like they're a part of our launch. It's like, hey, please come do this with me because I need help. I need accountability. That's like the most powerful thing. So for me today, I was like, okay, talking to my mom about everything, just talking through it. And she was like, because we have a nanny full time. It's my sister-in-law, so it's really nice. But I've given her different tasks to do with Maverick during the day. So it's like, make sure you go on a nature walk. Make sure I have these little things from the Target dollar spot, like little painting things, like just certain activities so that he's still doing his routine. He's not bored. He's not just sitting watching TV all day long. Like, nothing wrong with screen time, not saying that, but just so he gets like a little bit excited. But it's like, I'm not trying to make the perfect day of what his preschool looked like, because I'm not a teacher. I bless all the teachers. If there's any teachers in here, you have a gift, because I could never be a homeschooler. Like, I just don't have enough patience for that. But anyways, I'm just trying to keep that. So then I was talking to my mom and she's like, why don't you share some of the things you do with them? Like some of the things you've gotten from Amazon, or like silicone liners with sensory play, like things that are free. Okay. So I was like, okay, you're right. So instead of the time that maybe today I would have spent scrolling while I was eating my lunch, I made myself a working lunch and made part of my newsletter. I do my newsletters on MailChimp. And I just did 8 things from Amazon that are like $10 or under, of different things focused during this time, and just to keep them having activity time, so that mom doesn't have to be staring at your kid the whole time, making sure that they're not doing things, because hello, we would all go crazy. So it's just, I'm trying to think of like different ways to add value. Most of the people that are following me right now that are on this journey with me are moms that now have kids at home that they maybe weren't planning on, or maybe their daycare provider closed. So now they're like, oh my gosh, I'm stressed out. Of course, when we get stressed out, we stop taking care of ourselves. We stop eating healthy. So these are also all the things that I am making sure and making a priority for me and my boys to be eating healthy. Because, Steve and I talk about all the time, if we got fast food every night for dinner, that's when you have fast food. It's like, okay, great. You plan for your cheat meal. It's delicious when you're eating it. But then you have to like sit back and you're like, oh, I need to go to sleep. And then when you have a delicious meal that's actually balanced and you have like veggies that are cooked on the Traeger and it's just like, oh my gosh, this is so good. You're like, I feel good. it's 7 o'clock at night and I feel energized because you're eating real food. But those are the things that are going to boost your immune system. Same thing with movement every single day. You know, I've been trying to just share in my stories that, like, yes, what is happening is a real thing. We need to educate ourselves, but also these are what I'm doing to negate my anxiety and the stress that's coming into my life. You know, the biggest thing we've said is we have to get outside every single day. I live in Michigan. It's like 40 degrees, but it's sunny, so it feels like it's freaking 70 out, heat wave. And it's just like, we just need to be outside. Everyone is happier with vitamin D. Yesterday it was sprinkling outside. We even took the dog for a walk with the boys, and all of us were fine. We didn't melt. But I think it's just like sharing those little things that some people just don't even know because they are so, like how I felt when I was feeling that attacked with that anxiety on my chest. It's like, you don't even know what to do. Like, you're like, the world is ending. You think of all the negative things. And that's like the downward spiral where you're like, I don't have time to work out. I'm going to sleep like crap. I'm just going to reach for the cookies that I know are in my hidden drawer. You know, like that's what we typically do when we're so stressed out and anxious and all over the place. But guys, especially like, if you are the one that's in charge of your household, whether you have kids, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend, pets, like, you've got to take care of you first and foremost and share that, because that is what in my stories people are connecting with me most. I'm just like, thank you for sharing this article. My sister-in-law, she graduated from Harvard last year and she got her master's in public health. So literally we had like the best source ever to just give us these articles. And I'm like, here's an article. It's research, it's backed, here you go. But then also, this is what I'm doing today. So it's like just little glimpses, because I feel like sometimes people can also get so caught up in everything else where they make it political or they make it negative, or they're, you know, doing like making a joke of all this stuff. And it's like, instead of all those things, I'm just trying to be like that little bit of positivity in the news feed, because guys, we do have these platforms. And when you've been doing this for years, like, let's use our platforms for good. You know, Colleen was saying that, you know, food places around her that are reaching out to her, and like jazzercise people want to work with her. You know, Steve and I were talking today. We're like, we need to support one of these companies, restaurants of, you know, people we went to high school with who are suffering right now because they're like, hey, come pick up food from us. And it's like, we're going to share that and we're going to spread it. Like, hey, you guys can order from Uccello's today and go pick it up. And they have really great salads. You can still eat healthy. And no one's, you know, you're not by a bunch of people, but yet you're still supporting small businesses who this time could make or break them. So I think it's just any way that you guys have with your people, like what Colleen said with your brand, who you're trying to reach every single day, who you're trying to impact, and just put the most positive spin. Keep what you've been doing since before this virus started. What have you been sharing every single time? But then put your positive spin on it, because people are looking to you as their reason, as their opinion. So if you're just putting a positive spin on it, people are more likely to be like, wow, you know, maybe I should get outside today. And guess what? They're going to go for a walk outside no matter where they are in the world. And they're going to be like, oh, I need to do that every day. It feels so good. But they heard it from you. You guys were the ones that gave them that idea.
As you were just saying that, I just thought of something too. Well, my coach Liz said this, but I'm kind of like expanding on it. So we have this brand that most of us have been working on. You guys know the type of person that you're trying to help, right? Your ideal client has new pain points right now. It's actually not about their jeans fitting today. Not really high priority. Maybe we can help them like with their anxiety, channel their energy, give them a way to actually focus on themselves in the chaos. Like Jamie was saying, like that's got to be number one. So teaching people how to make themselves a priority is like the best thing that we could do right now, because I can't control what's happening outside, but if I can teach people value and how I can help them make themselves a priority when we all feel stuck and unsure of a lot that's happening. But think about, okay, so maybe if it's a mom or just like a busy working woman, her pain points were time before. Now she's probably got too much time and she has no idea how to navigate a new routine. So maybe if you are someone who has gone through a transition, or if you are going through a transition right now, what are 5 things you are doing to help calm the chaos? That's something you share on social media. So think to those pain points. So again, we're not changing what we do, we're changing the lens that we're viewing through and how we're helping people. So what else did I write here? Oh yeah, people are consuming social media right now. So they can either consume the crap that's out there, or we give them something to consume. So being intentional with that branding and giving them that value is super helpful. I love that you talked about the Amazon things. Like I can't even really Amazon anything because it won't get here with the snow and Tahoe. And so I was like, okay, how can I provide value, for my mommies? It's kind of funny. I almost have like 50% moms and like 50% pre-baby followers. So I've been thinking about the new pain points for what my people would be. And a lot of them is anxiety. A lot of them is like having too much time and they don't know how to create a new routine for themselves. So whatever time management tips we have for people, really anything at all. Like I'm trying to think, take away health and fitness and how can I help people? Because health and fitness will be like a fraction of it. But I know that, to be honest, I feel like most people aren't like, I really wish I could work out right now. Like we are, but they're not really thinking about that. So I kind of have to help educate them, get them into my circle, get them to consume what I'm sharing. And over these next 2 weeks, the people that are showing up and sharing their lifestyle through the chaos, which includes health and fitness, I think that those are the people that next month are really going to build trust with people. That's really what our goal is, right? It's like not to get people, it's not to sign people up. I mean, yes, that's like our business goal, but our goal is in terms of helping people is like building that trust, building that credibility. And so these 2 weeks are going to be vital in that integrity department. So yeah, help calm the chaos. What else did my coach Liz talk about? Oh yeah, she also said like this thing is bigger than us. I think at first, like our first initial reaction for a lot of us were like, oh my God, people are freaking out. The media is freaking out. But when we freak out about people freaking out, that's like really being a hypocrite, right? And so it's like, this thing is bigger than us. As much as we want our ego to be like, oh, whatever. It's like, no, this is a time where we have a chance to help humanity. So I actually brain dumped this morning when I like was freaking out. I'm like, okay, what am I going to focus on these next 2 weeks? Because I don't want to just like look through the Beachbody lens. I want to view it through like, I really want to help people. I don't know if you guys have seen the Mr. Rogers like meme going around, and it was, I'm probably going to botch it, but it's like his mom used to always tell him, in difficult times, always look for the helpers. So, if we were to look back and like at the grocery store today, I'm looking around and everyone was actually being really helpful. I'm like, that's a good person. That's a good person. And that's what we want to be. And the thing about Brendon Burchard's book right now, The Charge, if you guys have got to the chapter about congruence, if that's how you say it, it's we always think about the person we want to be. I want to be compassionate. I want to be a successful businesswoman. I want to be XYZ. Then we have to ask ourselves, are we doing the things that will bring us to that? And when there's a misalignment there, like, well, yeah, I want to be healthy, but I'm eating like crap. Or, I want to be successful, but I'm not doing my coach things. That's where the disconnect comes from, that confidence and that feeling of peace. So if you're looking for that sense of peace right now, think about the person you want to be and what are the things that you're doing in your day-to-day to help you get there. Because if there's a big disconnect, that is when our internal like compass is like, something's not right here. And that's, I think, what helped me this morning, now that I'm like saying this out loud, is like, I know the person I want to be, but the last 24 hours, I wasn't really practicing those things because I felt paralyzed. So if you feel that paralyzation, like 24-hour breaks aren't going to kill you. I want you guys to take the breath, do whatever you need to do, disconnecting from, like, I started unfriending people. Like, there's going to be a lot of that probably going on, We control our environment. We control what we're consuming. And if I can be a light for someone else in terms of like flipping the script of like, yeah, there's madness, but here's what we can control, I think it's going to help people. So, Jamie, I just like totally cut you off, but.
Oh, girl, you were good.
Okay.
I love what you said though about, just focusing on your circle. Like yesterday I worked all day and then it was just like, I just had to put my phone in my bedroom on the charger because I was like, I'm just going to go into that deep rabbit hole of Facebook and then seeing people and like, yeah, I started like unfriending people and stuff. And it's like, I just have to leave it there. Like, especially during this time, like just focus on you. And like you said, I think paralyzed is like the perfect word to explain all of this. And I think, as long as we can just stay true to us, putting ourselves first, we'll still be able to have the energy to put forth that value to add to our people and to bring it down to our teams. And, not make it seem like anything. Like some people are like, well, we don't want to be like this. We don't like, and it's like, guys, if you're just sharing your journey, you won't be, and so my coaches were like, I have a new coach mentorship that's going on right now. I'm like, okay, like business as usual, just keep working with your people. And like I said, I have a little call to action in my stories every day leading up for 10 rounds. I'm not going and mass messaging people, join now. I know you're off work, join now. Like, what? No, I'm not doing that. I don't do that when this virus happened, right? So just stay true to you. That doesn't mean that you can't hit Success Club. That doesn't mean that you can't sign people up. There's going to be a lot of people that aren't focused on this that might need this as a solution. That's when you can give them the free workouts. And then there's other people that, like, if this happened to me and I was still doing what I was doing and my gym got shut down, I would be like, oh my gosh, sign me up for a challenge pack. I cannot be without my workouts for a month. Like I would literally just sign up. And for me, like the performance line in Shakeology would just be extra. But you think about it too, if that kind of person signs up, they're going to become obsessed. Like, who do you know doesn't love Energize? Who doesn't love Shakeology that actually drinks it consistently? Like, if you drink it once a week, sure, you don't feel how great it makes you feel, but if you get that shit in your body every single day, you know why you drink it every day. But those are just like simple ways to do it, guys. That's not like changing a big approach. That's just you sharing you. And I think, like, more than anything, turn it into a positive thing. If you are now home from your job and you're with your kids and you're like, wow, that's a lot of time. Like, think of this as like an awesome opportunity, make your kids figure out how to start raking leaves, like they don't have to be doing the perfect journaling in school of whatever grade they're in or preschool or whatever childcare that they're used to. Like, put them outside, take your dog for an extra walk. Your dog's going to love it because you're going to be like, this is amazing. Speaking about my dog, but, I think it's, it's just something that for me, it's nice to have this, because if I didn't have this to focus on as like a positive thing in my life, and, like you guys are obviously all super close. Like I feel that way with my team too. That's just like, I'm so grateful for you guys, because at least you have people in the right realm of your world that you can talk to about this stuff, and obviously we have to talk about our feelings to not just bottle them all up. So I think I don't know. I just think you guys all even showing up today with everyone's schedules probably all over the place. It just speaks volumes.
Community will be super, super key. I keep thinking about, like what makes Beachbody so different is the connection that we have based on our mission. Because like I'm good at makeup. I could go sell the shit out of makeup, or like the hair stuff. Like I love all that stuff. But when I think about in a time like this, I'm like, I'm so grateful for our community because we just stand for something different. Like I'm not saying we're better, but I'm saying we're awesome, I just feel like we have something so valuable and so different. And if we can get through these 2 weeks with our chin high and being a light for other people, it's always going to end up okay, right? Like right now we feel like the chaos is ensuing. This morning when I had my moment, it felt like world was crashing, And this is what did Trent Shelton say? When inconvenience comes up, your commitment is exposed. This is inconvenient. That sounds like, trivial when I say that, but this is an inconvenience when it comes to like the business, but this is the reality of what's happening. And so this is really going to test your commitment to yourself, to your followers. And I told myself yesterday, I'm like, I need a 24-hour break, cut clean break from social media. And then I want to come back and I'm going to be renewed and I'm going to be refreshed and I'm going to be the example for people because they need that right now. So, I mean, we could just talk about this forever, but I really think that we should leave it with like, dig into that community aspect and think of those 3 words that you want to be. Brain dumping is my number one business tool that I use consistently. Like if you have time on your hand right now, you guys have a choice to make. You have a choice to either navigate the chaos schedule and like watch all the Netflix and XYZ, or you can be very intentional and focus on the things that will be the needle movers in your life. Not just your Beachbody business, but what are the things that you have to make a priority right now for you to be able to move your life forward through this stressful time? These 2 weeks will test that commitment. Okay, so like if you need that little break right now, I give you permission to give yourself the break. But anytime you come back from a break, you should feel stronger if you're focusing on the right work. You should feel excited to go out there and serve. And if you're not really sure what to do, like back in the day when I was a coach going through, crazy stuff in my life, I literally was doing hours of personal development. Like if there's open windows, we can Netflix or we can PD. That's literally how I see my day. Like yesterday, we really couldn't go outside because it was like an insane storm. And so like we tried our best and whatever. And I was like, I started watching Netflix because I don't really watch a lot of TV. And I physically felt ill by the end of watching multiple episodes because it was just like, this is not me. Like I physically don't want to be sitting here watching TV. I'd rather be growing and learning. So, you know, there's that crossroad of who am I going to be today? How am I going to show up? And we'll all get through it. So anything else you want to say, Dean?
I couldn't agree with all that more. I just think having our, so as childish as it sounds, but like our positive pants on, you know, like make light of every single part of the situation. I think it's only going to get worse before this gets better. So it's like just hunker into your routine, because with everything that's going to be changing and, you know, up and down and emotions and all of that, like just can control what you can control. And that is you, you know, focus on your routine, focus on the things that fill you up, you know, like spend this extra time that you have. And, you know, this is a time, like she just said, like PD guys, like PD, you know, and that's for me out of all the vital behaviors, that's where I always lack. And it seems like that would be like the easiest one to do, but that is when I'm off, I'm like, oh, okay, well, you haven't been reading your PD. That's your own fault. But this is just the kind of time to really lean in and just know that it's a ripple effect, guys. You have to say the same message down to your team, because they're going to be looking to you to see how you're handling the situation. If you're scared and negative and, you know, you think nobody should invite the opportunity at this time, that's what they're going to do. So make sure you guys are flipping that switch and just telling them to honor themselves in this, because their people, if they're signing up their people, they will feel the same way that they feel. Okay. And that starts with you guys being the leaders that you are, to have that ripple effect go down to them and just having that open conversation. I mentioned it last night in our team call before we got started, and so many people were just like, thank you for saying this, like thank you for just talking about adding value, because, you know, there have been some icky stuff I've seen throughout this, and I'm just like cringing. I'm like, oh my gosh, yikes. And I'm sure you guys have seen it too, but it's just like, that's not who we are. But with every company, there's going to be some ick. So don't focus on it too much where it just pisses you off so much, because I can see where you'd go with that. But just like, bless and release, guys. That's not your team. That's not you. And that's not what we're here to do. That's quite the opposite. So just stay true to you and stay true to your brand, and think of every single day my focus is how can I add value? Is that sending links to little activities and different coloring books you can get? Is it things you guys can make at home using the crap in your junk closet? Like, share things that you're doing and how you can involve your family too. And I think, like, out of all of this, you know, like Colleen said, like, let's be the helpers of this. Let's look back on this and have people say, like, wow, thank you for getting me out of that really dark time, you know, when I was by myself, or, you know, when I lost my job, or, you know, I had to deal with 4 kids at home by myself. Like, bless those people. But you know what I mean, guys? Just like stay true to you, and just like, we will get through this. And I think we'll be even stronger when we get out of
it. Last couple tactical things I'll share with you guys. Because I think you guys, our team has such a good heart. I feel like I didn't even have to come on here and say half of this, but I just wanted you guys to know, like, what I went through in the last 24 hours. Like, literally laid in my bed and like meditated, deep breathing for probably 2.5 hours at one point yesterday, because it felt like my chest was caving in, you know? So it was just a lot. So if you're like feeling like that at all, or you have people in your life, like, have that compassion for them if they're feeling like that. But to kind of switch gears, to give you something to do if you feel like, okay, so you're talking about adding value, Colleen. Like, I can share some free fun stuff with people, but this is personally what I'm choosing to do. You don't have to give you an idea. My virtual wellness studio is open to anyone right now. If someone messaged me and was like, hey, I really could use a little bit of support, or like, hey, what's the deal with your workouts? Like, I don't have a lot of money to spend. I wouldn't even blink, and their name would be added immediately to my virtual wellness studio, because it doesn't cost me anything. It doesn't like require anything of me. My virtual wellness studio is going. So if you guys have a challenge group and you guys have people that are like interested in doing a free workout or a trial or whatever, like, guys, the last thing I want to do is say, okay, go sign up and do 2 free weeks of BOD. Personally, that would not be in alignment with who I am. I'm not asking someone to whip out their credit card right now unless they were like, hey, I really want to buy some Shakeology. Like, you know what I mean? Or like, hey, I do want to buy that thing. But if someone's coming to me inquiring for information, they're in my virtual wellness studio, and I'm going to ask them like, hey, do you just want like to work out with us for a couple days? We're going to do some virtual workouts. Here's some workouts. Do you just want to try it? Good leaders ask great questions, right? Find out what they want. Are they looking for some love? Are they looking for some support? Do they want to try a workout? Maybe they want to buy a workout. Openness is really the key here. Like, if I can suggest, like, if you have rules about like who's in what group, like, drop the rules. This is not a time to be rigid with rules. This is a time where we come together. I know like other companies are offering like 30 days free Peloton or whatever. Like, I'm my own business owner, and my virtual wellness studio is my business. So it's always open, like, especially right now. It doesn't cost me anything. I'm not losing anything. I'm gaining a trustworthy customer or a future coach. You never know. So just kind of think a little bit different right now. Free workout links are cool, but open up the community. You can give out free workout links all day, but if they're not in that community, really, like, are we doing our job? So, okay. Jamie, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. And make sure you give your husband a big hug for me. He messaged me too. He's so sweet.
I will.
All right. Thank you, everyone. If you guys have any questions, you guys know Team Paige. You can message me. I'm happy to help. And next week, let's hope that we continue to see like the world maybe shifting, and we're all realizing that things will be different. It's kind of like 9/11, right? Things will always be different after this. And I just think it's a chance for us to grow and learn together. So have a great
Bye, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, Jamie.